Friends, thank you so much for taking the time to join with me tonight as I share my heartbeat with you about Soul Winners Boot Camp and what God is doing across the world. In this video tonight, my objective is to slow down a little bit and explain to you from the depths of my heart a little bit more about boot camp that I think that by the time you're done watching this, you're going to have a deeper appreciation for Soul Winners Boot Camp and a greater understanding of what it's all about. God has blessed Soul Winners Boot Camp, and thus far we have already had 4 Soul Winners Boot Camps in St. Petersburg, Florida. We have served and trained over 2,200 soul winners through 4 Soul Winners Boot Camps. We've baptized over 511 people, and God has filled over 468 people with the Holy Ghost. Now, a couple of things I want to share with you, because usually you see me on boot camp footage and I'm real wild and I'm jumping on pulpits and I'm screaming in your face, devil. Tonight I actually come to you with a very heavy burden. I called my associate pastor and Travis tonight about 12 o'clock and I said, guys, I need to share a video because I'm under a very heavy burden for Boot Camp America. You know, I just want to tell you real quick, what a huge leap of faith it was for our church to do our first Soul Winners Boot Camp. We had no idea what we were doing. In fact, we only intended on training 25 people in our first boot camp. But as God had it, we had ended up with over 270 people registered through our first Soul Winners Boot Camp in St. Petersburg, Florida. And from there, it was nothing but a God thing. God just began to give miracles and blessings. I remember a time when we came up short because, you know what? Unless you've been involved in the details of planning one of these boot camps, you have no idea how much money it costs to put one of these on. Now, we've been so thankful to be able to do it, and God has blessed us. For example, Dan Davis, who pastors in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, their church has been so kind. They let me come and take up an offering, and in one service gave $10,000 cash. Troy Shirty, an hour up the road in Orlando, Florida, had me come take up an offering on Sunday morning for boot camp, Soul Winners Boot Camp, and they raised $16,000 cash. God has been blessing us to do these boot camp rallies throughout America. We were just in Groves, Texas with Pastor Myers this past week, and in one service they raised $8,000 cash for Soul Winners Boot Camp America. What does that tell you? You know what it tells me? First of all, last year alone, I spent over 100 nights away from St. Petersburg preaching in youth camps and conferences and churches, trying to share my burden. There are times when I get in my car and I drive across the bay and I get on that airplane that I am so tired I don't even feel like traveling. There are times I miss my son. There are times that I wish I was in St. Petersburg so bad with my church. And God has blessed my son, and He has blessed our church, and He's blessed me for doing it, for being kingdom-minded. And I have a passion and an understanding that this whole thing is all about the kingdom. That's why men like Brother Davis and Troy Shirty and Merle Ewing, who gave a $4,000 offering, and Brother Mangan and Brother Cunningham and many great men that have blessed Soul Winners Boot Camp. Brother Webb from Pensacola, Florida. And then God has just raised up businessmen to bless Soul Winners Boot Camp because of the cause. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 7 billion people on this earth. Not just people that have an eternal destination. There are hurting people. I just read a statistic a couple of days ago that there are 35,000 children that go to bed hungry in the city of Chicago, Illinois. That on any given day there are 12 million children in America who go to bed hungry. Our mission in Compassion USA and Boot Camp America is to network with churches across the world to get a kingdom mindset, to understand it's not about St. Petersburg. It's not about your church. It's about us pulling together an army of concerned and passionate Christians who are ready to do more than just talk about church, but be the church, the real church, to show compassion, to feed the hungry, to give to the poor, to reach out to teenagers, to feed the homeless, to minister to single mothers and cancer patients and people that are dying of leukemia and cancer in hospitals, and just literally serve people. That's what boot camp is all about. Now, our staff took a huge leap this year. Putting on one boot camp, ladies and gentlemen, takes so much work and financial obligation from our staff and our church that when we thought of the idea of doing 8 Soul Winners boot camps, we all just took a heavy sigh. And you know what? We had to look at this big picture and say, you know something? If it's true, if Jesus Christ really is coming soon, and if Jesus Christ was right when he said, except a man is born again of the water and of the Spirit, if there is a heaven and if there is a hell, ladies and gentlemen, and if Jesus Christ is coming, we have no other choice but to get radical. We have no other choice but to take this concept of Soul Winners Boot Camp and bless the kingdom. St. Petersburg will gain absolutely nothing when our staff is gone from St. Pete for 40 nights, which is how many nights it'll take us away from St. Petersburg to do these boot camps, and our time and our energy and our financial resources. Well, when you have that kind of spirit, God begins to bless.